on the play, throw it away, get outside of the pocket and play on 2nd and 10. That's his youth right there.
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fire to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins!
Oh, we're back. Let them know we're back.
It's been a minute.
It's been a long minute, man. How you doing over there in Nashville?
Doing all right, man. This rain we had come through the last couple of days has been crazy with flooding, and I mean,
it really seems like we've had the last 40 days and 40 nights of just nothing but straight rain, honestly. I mean, from Alabama up, it's just been absolutely insane, dude.
freaking, and then today it's like 95 with 142% humidity. It's freaking
Right.
crazy, man.
Welcome back to Alabama. Sheesh. Oh, man, it's good to be back. Ooh, Steven, what's going on, baby? How you doing, man? It's been a long time no see. Glad to have you back in the chat. What's going on? I'm sure you'll try to talk about Mac Jones tonight. I know you've been watching the preseason. The man's on fire, like absolutely on fire. Shout out to our boy Brandon, too. My boy, let's get it. Hey, congrats to your Milwaukee Bucks winning the finals. I know y'all got lit up there in Milwaukee. Adam, I know you watched that series. That was wild.
Dude.
Starting 0-2 in that and looking like it was going to be another Suns in 4. It just absolutely went off. Yep, Bucks in 6.
Bucks in 6. That's what
I know you started printing the shirts as soon as that game ended. You had to make a little bit of money on there. Our boy Steven, hey, good to hear you. Hey, I know you missed the fireworks, and hey, we're going to keep bringing them too. We got a lot to cover today. It's going to be an electric show. First, we got some serious stuff to talk about. And it kind of sucks that with COVID and everything going on, it's kind of hurt a lot of things going on in the community and around us. And now we're on the verge of losing the UA club hockey team. Now, I don't know if a lot of people don't even know Alabama has a hockey team. And I think that's one of the issues we need to work on too. We need to bring more awareness to these club teams, and they need our help. So they have a GoFundMe set up right now, and we'll kind of read off a little bit of their information they got on there because we got to help them now. So team was established in 2005. They started out as an ACHA D3 level team, and they've already worked their way up to a D1 team. The programs provided countless UA students with the opportunity to continue playing the sport they love and represent the Crimson A with pride, which I think is cool. If y'all ever seen those sweaters, crimson or white, they are absolutely freaking beautiful. Being a high-level club sport with minimum university contributions, student players must raise their own funds to accommodate budget shortfalls. Now, due to COVID, stricken the 2019-2020 year, the team was unable to play and generate revenue to cover accumulated facility fees. Additionally, rising ice time fees and travel expenses are creating financial hardships for the team and the upcoming season. Their home rink is now threatened to take away their self-funded, custom-built locker room if the facility's dues are not paid current as well. So, I mean, these guys are under an extreme amount of stress and need y'all's help. So they have to raise $18,000 by September the 1st, 2021. All donations are going directly to supporting the Alabama ACHA D1 club hockey team. And there are two ways to give. Right now, the GoFundMe is at $8,312. So we're almost halfway there with about a week left. So we need y'all's help majorly. So if you go to the GoFundMe and search University of Alabama Club Hockey needs your help, or go to our Twitter page, you'll find the link to the GoFundMe. Now, they do note that the GoFundMe is not a tax-deductible donation. Now, they do have a route where you can do a tax-deductible donation because all University of Alabama donations are 501c3 tax-deductible. So you will go to the GoFundMe and scroll down and see the notes, and they have a link. It says tax-deductible link. You'll click that, search hockey, and then under Choose Fund, and that way you can take care of that. please help them out. Another way to help out, if you go to the Alabama hockey page, you can Google University of Alabama hockey. They have a ton of sweet merchandise. I'm hoping they put up some sweaters too, because I got to get me another one, because I got the vintage one right there. I need that new one, that Script X. It is slick.
I was waiting for you to get through this because I knew you were going to throw in the fact that you wanted to get one of those jerseys.
Hey,
I knew it.
I went through the merch earlier, and I'm surprised I didn't drop like $200 in there, because I very easily could have. I mean, we got to help them out. Steven saying, Blake always giving, love it. Hey, bro, look, I love the University of Alabama and everything it stands for, and we got to help these guys out. I mean, these students come from all over the place who've grown up playing hockey and have the opportunity to keep playing a sport they love and they're passionate about. Again, like that GoFundMe said, wearing that Script A with pride and that crimson and white. I mean, that's hard to beat, man. It's hard to beat. So definitely go check out the GoFundMe on our Twitter page. Every little bit helps. We don't care if you give $1, if you give $1,000. We just need to make sure we get this program still rocking and rolling in the future and give these guys a chance to play on the ice.
Yeah, while we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and pin it on Twitter. That way, when they go to our Twitter page, they can, if they want to scroll through there, like you said, every little bit helps. Alabama football, basketball, baseball. Just we need to help out the hockey team here, guys.
Hey, I mean there's a lot of major teams there, but they can only do so much for everybody. Exactly. And like I said, this is a club team that's usually for the players themselves have to raise these funds for. So we got to make sure we help them out and do what we can, since they didn't have to get to have that season last year to raise those funds, to sell that merch and make that money. Let's help them out and do the right thing here. And we're already in a health crisis all over the state. I don't need a crisis where we have absolutely no college hockey. So we've already lost UAH too. So
yeah,
University of Alabama colleges, man, y'all are killing me with hockey this last year and a half. But, man, it is finally one of our favorite times of the year.
It doesn't get any better than when me and you get to talk about freaking football, brother.
Bro, I feel like it's been 10 years since we talked football.
It's freaking crazy. We started this like towards the tail end of football season when me and you started doing this, and then basketball just exploded for us. Absolutely. And we were talking about basketball and gymnastics and softball and baseball. And it does. You're right. It seems like it's been a year since we've got to talk about Alabama football. And I'm freaking 100% pumped the hell up to talk about football. No doubt. And with the preseason here, we're starting to see a lot of preseason awards and accommodations start to happen. And we got the preseason AP All-American team, and Alabama is just littered all over this list. We're going to go through this list real quick, and then I want to tell you about one who I think got left off, which I think is the biggest snub in AP All-American history. Like, it's absolutely insane. So, first team, we got Evan Neal and Will Anderson. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. Those two guys are absolutely dominant in the position they play. Like, they're easily two of the best players in the entire country, and ESPN knows that as well. Evan Neal is probably going to be a top 10 draft pick. I mean, dude's an absolute stud. Second team, we had Christian Harris, John Mechie, and Emil Ekafor Jr. Yep. And, I mean, those guys are also going to be huge contributors to the team. I think Bryce Young probably could have made that list somewhere, but, he hasn't played. I know everybody's been hyping him up, but I think he probably deserved to be on that list a little bit. But the one who got snubbed, who also got snubbed for kicker of the year last year, Will Riker. How do you leave the only kicker in the entire country who did not miss a single kick freaking year long? Yep. I swear you just said a single dick. Anyways, a single kick. And don't even put him on any of the teams. Like, does that make any sense? 0 sense. I mean, like you said, the guy missed 0. That's this many people. 0 kicks.
0, dude. Like, it makes no sense.
And here's the thing, too. He plays for Alabama, too. Like, when was the last time we had a kicker that missed 0 fucking kicks? Can't
Bro, I'm used to kickers not making many kicks at all. Right. Let's be real.
Yeah. I told my son a long time ago, I said, man, all you had to do was learn how to kick a football and you could have went to Alabama.
Oh, right? I mean, you could have excelled. And speaking of, it's funny, Athens played, my hometown high school, played Fort Payne last year, first game of the year, and they won 41-40. Fort Payne had an opportunity to win the game and has the number one kicker in the country who missed a 53-yarder wide left. They said it probably would have been good from 60 if he had hit it straight. But you'll never guess where this kicker's going that missed a clutch time game-winning field goal. Auburn University.
The barn, baby. The barn.
Yay. Love it. Hey, that was perfect. I love seeing somebody that's going to Auburn lose to Athens, and it's not going to Bama because Bama has the best kickers in the country right now. I mean, they got Will Riker, and they got a guy coming in. It's going to be a stud as well. I mean, Bama's kind of flourishing where they're not usually flourishing at, baby.
Hey, back to real quick to our preseason All-Americans. Do you somebody told me today, I don't remember who the hell it was, but they were like, why is John Mechie so high on that list?
I mean, you got to look at what he did behind the players he did play behind.
Exactly.
And he still put up numbers.
Yeah. I said, my exact words to him were, you will find out this season.
Yep.
You will find out this season. I think somebody that's not on the list, but I don't know if we're even where we'll talk about players, but Billingsley is going to be huge for me, I think. And I think we've talked about that before. I think Billingsley is going to be a huge role in that offense.
I think Billingsley and the other tight end we have, his backup is going to be just as important. I mean, they're talking about both of them coming out, going to be huge assets to that offense, not just throwing the ball, catching the ball, blocking, doing the little things that it takes to be a dominant offensive team.
Steven.
Yes, Stephen, there's a point to play because we all know Indiana's sitting at 17 preseason. I know that's probably like the highest y'all have ever been ranked preseason, like in the history of Indiana football, but you're still ranked behind Iowa State, which still blows my mind, which is at number 7, which we'll get to because what the hell?
What the hell,
man? Yeah. You keep dreaming, please, sir. I love it though. I love how passionate you are about Indiana. Like
I do.
You're about as passionate and delusional as a Georgia fan. Like, you think you're going to win, it's always going to be your year. I don't care how high you get ranked. It ain't your year.
Steven's got a Go Dogs chant in the back of his mind.
Probably. He's a closet Georgia fan, to be honest. I mean, he acts like one.
He said, didn't say they were going to win.
I mean, you didn't say they were going to win, but you said you're going to make the title game. I mean, I'm looking at the Big Ten, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Penn State. I don't know. I just don't see it, boss man. Maybe though, one day you'll get lucky. But yeah, man, preseason All-Americans, I just think Riker got snubbed on that. Will Anderson, Evan Neal, I think that was kind of an obvious choice. Will Anderson popping out last year and becoming an absolute brutal force on that defense. I think he's going to be one of those guys that reminds me a lot of Reuben Foster and of a Mac Jones, or I'm saying Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Yeah. Mac in there laying the freaking lumber, baby.
Hey, you love it. I'd love to see that. Wait, we thought we were talking.
Will Anderson.
This man.
Yeah, this man.
Steven,
I love you, but
you clearly from Indiana.
Hey, Will Anderson was a freshman last year. Just saying.
He was. And then he didn't act like a freshman.
No, he didn't.
That's one thing I noticed from him. You see a lot of kids come in trying to start young that just don't have the maturity, or what's the word I'm looking for? They just don't seem like they completely get the role they're playing. Hey, yeah. Cody, people forget. People are talking, baby. People are talking. They'll never forget. They'll never forget. But I mean, Will Anderson just seemed to have a different composure about himself when he got to UA. Yeah. He did not play like a freshman last year. That man looked like he is a seasoned vet in the SEC, the way he could just dissect plays before they're even starting and get downhill so quickly. I mean, that's what makes him different than everybody else in the country at that position. I mean, his downfield speed is unreal. The ability he has from the snap of the ball, recognize the play, know where his gap is, and get there. It's like that. It's ridiculous.
The way he that's what I was going to say. The way he reads his gaps and where he needs to be is second to freaking none for a kid that was 18 years old last year.
I mean, you don't see that.
You just don't see that. And I've talked to Steven about this while we were at work about that's right, Cody. Cody threw in a comment, he's Dwight Freeney.
I read that as Mr. Feeney, so
Feeney. But no, I don't know what it is about him. I am so excited. Usually with Bama now, we're going to score 45 points a game, right? You know, back 10 years ago, it was let's win 9-6, you know, or 14-10. I am so excited this season to see what the defense does because they were trashing our defense last year. Dude, it actually wasn't that freaking bad.
Well, it was kind of like you watch in movies, you see the coming of age character, and that was kind of a coming of age defense. I mean, you had a defense coordinator with a bunch of young guys trying to teach a system, and man, it took a little while, but they learned. You saw as the games went on, guys started filling their gaps. They weren't trying to do their other players' job during that play. And that's huge. You have to know your role in that defense. Like the Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth.
Shout out to Tim. What's up, buddy? We appreciate you watching, giving us a shout tonight. Cody threw in another comment. 16 points a game this year for our defense.
Yeah, Love no doubt.
Love it.
And then, like you said again, too, other than Ole Miss and Florida, we pretty much are basically lights out. That Ole Miss game, I think that's an early one. Lane Kiffin's got that high-powered offense now down in Oxford, which makes me nervous. And we'll get to that game, too, because that's one of my red flag games for the season that I'm a little bit worried about. Could be a home trap game. That Florida game, I think that's Bama kind of letting off the brakes a little bit or letting off the gas a little bit, braking a little bit in that game. They could have easily still blown them out by more.
I was going to say with that Ole Miss game, you know, Lane Kiffin is a mastermind of an offensive coordinator / head coach. I know he's the head coach, but offensively, that dude is probably one of the smartest guys on offense that I've seen in a long time as far as drawing up the right play. That game was I remember watching that game with my father-in-law, and he was getting so pissed off about them giving up. It was just back and forth, score. He's like, what's up with defense? I mean, man, it just happens. It happens nowadays. Like it's almost that was like a freaking Pac-12 game to me, you know, where there's no defense. And it's not the fact that we didn't have good defensive players. It was early. What week was that? 4? I think it was like week 4 when that game
3 or 4, something like that.
So, I mean, and we had a bunch of young guys, which –
hey, I'm going to be real with you. If Lane Kiffin could control his quarterback with a PlayStation or Xbox controller, Ole Miss would go undefeated because I'm telling you, he's that good of an offensive mind. Yeah. Like, he sees the holes 5 steps before they're even there. We saw it at Bama. We've seen it at Ole Miss, too.
He's like this.
His arms are in the air before the ball's thrown.
Yeah, it's insane, man.
Absolutely. Like, the dude knows the game so well. And I think that's one reason Saban kept him when he did because I think Nick Saban said it as well. Lane Kiffin kind of changed the offensive game at Alabama. I mean, he changed the whole dynamic of it and really revolutionized that team to where people are saying the dynasty's dead. Fuck no, it's not dead. The dynasty's well and living. And just because Lane Kiffin's gone now, guess what? The GOAT's still at Alabama. And he's still going to continue to get great coaches that are continue to make that team better and progress into the future. And I think that's been Nick Saban's plan all along. Because I know Nick knows he can't be there forever. He's not going to live forever. We're going to end up losing him at some point. Yeah. But he's setting the blueprint for success for his successor right now. It's the process. If you follow the process of Alabama, it's point proven. You're going to win national championships. You're going to make the NFL. You're going to be an AP All-American. Yeah. Cody, I love the positivity, but no, Nick Saban will not live forever, even though I wish he would.
If we could clone him, we would.
Honestly, we probably could. But we've seen Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. Cloning doesn't go well.
I know this is off script a little bit. What do you think? We're gonna talk about players or schedules and all that. I want to know what you think about Bill O'Brien leading the offense.
I think it could go one of either way. I mean, do I think he's like a Lane Kiffin or a Sarkisian? No, those two guys are some of the best offensive minds in the football game. Period.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got the experience to be able to lead these guys. I think him being a former NFL coach is cool. I think his players will also kind of think that's pretty neat also, and that's some commonality they can connect with and get more personal, because just because he's their coach doesn't mean they fully trust him when they first get there, right? You have to build that rapport and that relationship with them.
Yeah. You know what I love about it is I think Bill O'Brien is a great coach. Where he got messed up in Houston when he's in the NFL was that he was the GM too.
Yeah.
If Bill O'Brien can just coach and focus on coaching, which that's what he's doing, and recruiting for us, I think he's going to be fine. I don't know if it's going to be the same kind of offense that we've had over the past couple years with Sark and Lane. But if his mind is straight coaching these young kids, preparing them for their futures and abiding by the process, right? I think he's going to I'm actually excited to see it. I really am. And you got Doug Marrone too, who's a former head coach that's coaching our own line now. You got Saban there, of course. It's an exciting time right now to talk about Alabama football. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on what you thought about Bill O'Brien. We can move on now.
Oh, we can always move on. I mean, I think Bama's in good hands. Nick Saban knows what he's doing with these coaching hires. It obviously hasn't hurt him yet. Let's be real. I mean,
yeah, true.
It doesn't stop.
It hadn't really affected anything, man.
I mean, honestly, and it obviously didn't affect this either. The preseason AP poll came out this week, and who's at the top? The one, the only, the University of Alabama, and I mean, that's expected. Bama's bringing a lot of talent in still. Have to replace a lot of key guys. Bryce Young's going to be one of those that everybody's eyes are going to be on week 1 against Miami. Yeah. We're going to talk a lot about that a little bit later on the show and next week too. Yeah. Don't want to give too much away there. But fall off the rest of the top 5, Oklahoma, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia. Clemson's one of those teams I don't think is going to be able to pop back like we've seen the Bamas or the Ohio States, the Oklahomas. I mean, they just lost Travis Etienne. They just lost Trevor Lawrence. Like, dude, their whole team that they've been dominating with for 2-3 years is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that quarterback they got is pretty good. DJ Ukulele.
I'm going to be real with you. I don't think Clemson's going to win the ACC this year.
Okay.
I don't.
Hot take.
There's a team that's not even on that top 25 list that's going to end up winning the ACC this season, and it's going to be the Seminoles out of Florida State down in Tallahassee, Florida this year.
You just made a couple of my friends happy as hell by saying that.
LOL. I mean, I'm going to be real. I mean, UNC is going to have a decent team, but Florida State's got a kid out of UCF playing quarterback. I think it's Mackenzie Milton. That's right. I mean, they've got the talent down there. They've got a good coaching staff. I mean, they got rid of Taggart, got rid of that bullshit, and have moved on now.
Mike Norvell is a stud of a coach. I'm telling you.
I've heard only good things about Norvell. And I think at a place like Florida State with so much tradition, I mean, so much legacy there. I mean, that used to be one of the most dominant teams in the NCAA at one point.
Yep, they were. And Norvell he's young.
Yep.
He reacts well with other recruits. He's brought in some really good players there, and it's time. I know this is not a Florida State podcast, but it's time. Florida State fans, I know this firsthand because who I work with are even Steven's a Florida State fan. His whole family, Josh and Kevin, they are all Florida State fans, and they're tired of losing. They're not used to. I mean, it was something like, I don't know, 25 straight years to a bowl game or something, and then they didn't make. It's insane what they've done. They are one of the most, traditioned football programs ever, and I agree. I think Norvell and that team, I'm not going to go as far as a hot take as says they're going to win the ACC, but I think they have a good season this. I mean, I think they contend. I think they definitely contend. I just you got to. It's like us. You got to prove that you can beat the guys. You know what I mean? You can beat the top dogs first. So if they
Right.
come in there, or a North Carolina team comes in there and beats Clemson or something like that. Until that happens for me, I'm going to say it. I would just say Clemson comes out of the ACC.
Well, we're going to learn a lot about Clemson in week
Yeah.
one because we got them playing the Georgia Bulldogs, and that's going to be a real item in the game to see about what those two teams are about in the top five.
Yeah.
I mean, Georgia, poor Georgia, going almost 40 plus years without a national title, and they're still barking at people, grown adults barking at people. Like, I just still don't get that. But that first matchup is going to be insane week one. I think Georgia will probably end up mollywhopping Clemson. Like, it's going to be a 21-plus game for Georgia. I think Georgia has a lot to prove, and they want to make a statement early this season. They need to, because Florida is not going to be an easy game for them this year.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to worry about Bama this season. So they need to make sure they have these early big games and take control of their season early, or we could see it where they just don't make the cut again.
Yeah. Can we drop down to number 7 real quick on that list?
Number 7, Iowa State.
Why? Why?
The Cyclones. I'm pretty sure this is literally the highest they've ever been preseason. It's got to be. Like, the only time you ever hear of Iowa State ever getting this high is when they've just surprised somebody.
Right. I don't really know what else to say about Iowa State being number 7, but
I don't even know what conference they're in still. Like, they hopped. I know Iowa's in the Big Ten. Is Iowa State in the Big Ten? I know they were in the Big 12 at one point.
They're still in the Big 12.
I feel like that just makes no sense to have Iowa in the Big 10 and Iowa State in the Big 12.
Right. I don't know.
Silly.
What else intrigues you in this top 25 poll?
You want to know the funniest part about this whole top 25 poll?
What's
no
that?
Auburn Tigers, and I freaking love it. There's not a single Auburn Tiger on this top 25 poll.
Yeah, that is true. You got what? 3 in the top 10 from the SEC. You got A&M at 6, Georgia at 5, and Bama at 1. So that's not horrible.
That's what Scientology and COVID get you down at Auburn.
No, Jesus Christ. That a boy. I'll tell you, I skipped down LSU 16th. That's a little wishy for me. I don't know about that. But the one that's getting me is the old Raging Cajuns, baby, at 23.
I love how you skipped over Coastal Carolina at 22 in front of the Raging Cajuns.
I'm good with that.
I mean, bro, they've had one good year.
One good season. Yeah.
And now we're gonna go ahead and let's throw them back in the top 22. It wasn't anything. We'll let them boost their way up and play Bama in the first round. See what happens.
It's not gonna last long.
Dude, can you imagine an Alabama Coastal Carolina semifinal game?
Yeah,
like,
it'd be like 52-10.
I honestly think it'd be more like 73-6.
It was kind of like when Vandy wanted Bama and they had their signs. Vandy wants Bama, and then what happened? It's like 63-3.
I heard the Chicago Bears want Bama, but Justin Fields said no.
I hope Juan's watching.
Oh, I do too. Shout out Juan, dirty bitch. Anyways. We got a lot more to cover, too. Hey, so we got the preseason AP, the preseason AP Top 25, All-Americans.
Yeah.
Let's look to our schedule a little bit. Now, I want to get to some games I'd say to be our red flag games. I know I've got 3. I don't know how many you've got. Look, he said games to worry about, red flag games. I'm going to start with my number 3 game, and that's on October the 9th, going to College Station to take on the Texas A&M Aggies.
Okay.
That game makes me nervous every single time just because of how raucous and crazy that environment is in College Station. And when people say that college atmospheres don't have anything to do with the game, that's bullshit.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
There's a reason they get that many fans in there and get that loud, because it's the 12th man. I mean, let's be real, man. That's what College Station's all about. That game makes me really nervous. Jimbo Fisher, great coach. He's going to always have his team ready to play Bama. It might not be ready to win against Bama, but they're ready to play at least.
Yeah.
I think you'll have them ready. That could be one of those away games that makes me a little nervous. My second away game is
Hey, let me
coming
do
up.
this. Let me do this. We'll go
do you wanna
3-3, 2-2, 1-1.
Let's do that. I'll let you get yours, and I'll do mine.
Okay, my number 3 is Auburn, and I always worry about Auburn just because it's Auburn and it's at the Barn this year.
Bro, that game never matters.
It doesn't matter. I just worry about losing. I can't stand losing to fucking Auburn.
I just don't see it. What does Auburn have?
I'm not saying we're gonna lose.
Auburn has a good running back this year, I think. Like, great.
I'm just saying it's always a game where I'm like, son of a bitch, we're playing Auburn. We should smoke them. And something happens where it's close in the first quarter or first half, and then we end up blowing them out. It's just one of those games that's always in my head. So that's my number 3. Okay,
I like
story.
My number 2, coming up very soon, September 18th, down in Gainesville, the Florida Gators. That game playing in the swamp makes me nervous. I almost put it as my number 1, but my number 1 is going to be interesting. But the Florida Gators returning a lot of talent. It's tough playing down in Gainesville. We don't do it very often. Florida's one of those teams. I mean, they kind of snuck up on us late in that SEC championship game last year.
Mm-hmm.
But if a few plays off, it could have gone the other way. But Florida, very fast team. I can see them putting up a game. I'm not saying we're going to lose by any means or anything like that, but that's just one of my games that makes me kind of nervous at number 2.
My number 2 is A&M.
I feel you.
But for pretty much the same reasons that Jimbo Fisher coaching, just with it being there and the home of the 12th man and how loud, again, that goes back to what we just said. If you think crowd noise doesn't make a difference, you're full of shit, because it 100% does. And I think I don't even know who their quarterback is anymore, because Kellen Mond played there for 14 years. and I don't know, but it's a Jimbo Fisher coach team at A&M. That's all you got to think about. So that's my number 2.
I like it. All right, my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
The home trap game against the Ole Miss Rebels on October 2nd. Yeah. That game makes me nervous because I've been to that game and I've seen the trap happen. It can be set. Lane Kiffin knows how to set the traps. Yeah. And if he's going to be the first assistant coach to beat Nick Saban, I think that's the one that could do it. Yeah. Ole Miss, we got a lot of talent. I mean, we saw last year, they kept up with Bama pretty damn well.
Yeah. That's my number 1. I didn't put Florida in there. I probably should have put Florida in there, but
you put scumbag Auburn in there.
I'm going to go Ole Miss too, and for one simple reason, Lane Kiffin and his coaching ability. It's a trap game. I still think we win that game, but I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Oh, no doubt.
I don't know if it's going to be like last year, but anytime you have Lane Kiffin and the mastermind of offense that he has, it's always and it's it's at thank God it's in Tuscaloosa. That's all I can say. Thank God it's in Tuscaloosa.
I mean, we're throwing Bryce Young out there, first time starting. He's gone through the gauntlet the first half of the season. You got Miami week 1, you got Florida week 3, Ole Miss a couple of weeks after that, and you've got Texas A&M the following week after that. I mean, that's an absolute gauntlet of a schedule for a first-year starting quarterback, where they've lost almost all their weapons that they were so highly praised about last year. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be an absolute gauntlet.
Yeah, it is.
And it's going to start with one game, and it's going to be the Miami game. And I think that game's going to say a lot about what this team's going to be that season, because, I mean, we've seen a lot of talking from De'Aaron King, the quarterback over in Miami, talking about how he's going to be ready.
Beat us by double digits. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I mean, I was reading about how when he came off that season-ending injury in their season finale last year, I mean, has he not watched quarterbacks like that who are just like him coming back off injury? Let's look at Florida State when they played Bama first year, and we absolutely destroyed their legacy for years and years. I mean, Miami's about to become irrelevant again for decades.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings, brother.
I mean, you're talking about a team that only puts up about 34 points a game, but gives up 27. I mean, you're talking about only winning by a touchdown against mediocre ACC and FCS teams.
If you average giving up 27 points in the conference that you play in, and then you're going to play Alabama,
All right,
sorry,
you better bring you better bring two teams and put them on the field at the same time because you're going to need them.
I mean,
I just don't see any chance Miami has any chance in this game. I mean, the spread's 19.5. I might take it at freaking 28.5.
book it.
Lock it in. Like, honestly, I just don't see Miami having any chance. This is the first time where we have a game like this, and it's a highly ranked opponent where I was not worried at all going into this. Going into that
what I'm
last
shocked
week.
about on this game? It's not the fact that we're playing Miami. I'm shocked that it's a 2:30 game.
I kind of like that. It gives me time
like
to it gives me time to watch in the middle of the day where I won't be too drunk to remember what happens near the end, and I'll be good to talk
about it the next week.
That's right. I'll be able to know what I'm talking about. Because if it's a late night game, it's a wrap. I'm done. I ain't gonna make it to the game hardly.
All right, brother. What else you want? What else we got?
Well, I know this does have nothing to do with college football.
Oh,
but the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer released.
Blake's going to talk a lot about this. I'm going to throw in little tidbits of comments, but this is Blake's baby, so I'm just letting you know now.
Did you end up watching the trailer before we started?
I did. There's a lot.
What did you think about it? What did you think? What was your first impression?
Holy shit!
Holy shit! I mean, that was a lot. I've talked to people that cried watching that trailer.
Well, I didn't cry.
It's real unusual though that a movie doesn't put the trailer out until 4 months before the movie comes out. I mean, I think there's a lot of intangibles in there. You have COVID. I think a lot of it has to do with the show What If that's going on right now, intertwining with the multiverse. Because we've seen all these different multiverses are starting to cross over, and it's all canon to the MCU. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I know we start the trailer off, and everyone, it kind of leaves off when Mysterio's telling everybody that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And I mean, that's got to suck for him now. The entire world knows who he is.
Yeah.
They think he killed Mysterio. So that kind of threw everything off. You know, there's little Easter eggs in here and there. It looks like Daredevil is in the movie. We see a guy slamming down paperwork in front of Peter when he's in the police station with his sleeves rolled up, the same little outfit that Daredevil wears in the show. You notice he goes to Doctor Strange to fix it, and that goes with a couple different storylines with the comics. Should go kind of crazy, and we saw the spell kind of break up, right?
Right.
Now, I think that had a little bit to do. We heard Doctor Strange say, stop tampering with the spell. When he says stop tampering with the spell, stuff started getting a little weird, and then he pretty much tells them to shut up. And then that's when it looks like the spell completes, and they're in the wrong place. Stuff doesn't look right. I mean, the place looks destroyed around them. The biggest thing is the Sinister Six villains that we're going to end up seeing. We saw the orange Goblin Bomb, which kind of signifies that we're going to get William Dafoe back to be the Green Goblin, which it will put together the Sinister Six and be our main villain. That's going to be wild. We know Jamie Foxx is coming back to be Electro. From the trailer, it looks like they kind of made it more comic related, made his electricity yellow instead of blue. That's going to be sweet. Looks like we've seen Sandman in there. I know last time we saw the Sandman in the movie, he kind of dissipated and actually said sorry to Spider-Man about everything. So that'll be interesting to see how he plays in, if he's a good guy or a bad guy, because in the comics, he ends up joining the Avengers before he breaks bad again. Saw the Lizard for like literally a half second.
I didn't even notice that till you just said. I was thinking when you said that, it just triggered my mind. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, like the Lizard's in there, and then the biggest one at the very end, I think, is Adam's version of Doc Ock back. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Like, I mean, the Sinister Six, the biggest, worst kept secret. We know we're going to have Tobey Maguire. We're going to have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in it. We're probably not going to see them in a trailer until 2 weeks before the movie comes out, because that's great. I think we're going. Here's one of my theories about it. I think we're going to end up seeing Miles Morales from the Into the Spider-Verse movie that we got, which I honestly think is the best Spider-Man movie to come out yet. I mean,
I like it.
You look at what Sony's been trying to do with the Spider-Verse and how they're trying to create that own type of movie universe. And we've also seen Kevin Feige say that Spider-Man's the only superhero that has the power to cross over cinematic universes. So you have that Sony Spider-Verse and the Disney MCU. So hopefully we'll see him in some maybe Morbius because we know Vulture's already seen Morbius in post-credit scene. We got Venom coming up, which just got delayed again until January 2022. It's really sucks. It makes me nervous about Spider-Man.
Didn't know that, but thanks for telling me that.
Yeah, if you didn't know, sorry. I have an MCU group chat. We talk about this stuff daily. I mean, we saw Doctor Strange seems a little bit off in that trailer. I don't know if you noticed that. I mean, we saw Wong tell him right before he went off on vacation, which I think he's going off so he can be in the Shang-Chi movie, which is coming out in just a couple of weeks. It's going to be wild. Doctor Strange just seemed kind of a little off to me. Yeah, pretty much. Holy shit, yes. Doctor Strange doesn't seem himself. It's weird. We see him when he's doing the spell. He's got that pullover on underneath his cape. Yeah. When the multiverse thing comes back in, he's got the Eye of Magatu on and the sweatshirt's gone. So does he have the time stone? What just happened? I mean, there's so much that could happen. That's why I really think the What If series, since we've seen a lot of Doctor Strange in the trailers, is going to have a lot to tie into it. Could be an evil Doctor Strange that comes back from another multiverse and takes care of this one. That's what I think might end up happening.
You know what we need? We need another fucking trailer.
Please give me one. We've only had this one for literally a day, or not even a day.
And we already need another
23 hours, and we're already ready for the movie. Like, give me December 17th right now. Please, COVID, do not delay this movie anymore than it's already been delayed. I will smite you with all the vaccinations I can find.
I want to shout out Zach real quick. What's up, buddy? He said I don't know why he didn't put your name, but he put mine.
What's up, Zach? Do I know this Zach?
He's co-host with Steven on No Horsing.
Oh, okay. Got you.
By the way, Steven also threw in a thing. Bama employs half of the AFC South.
Well, I mean, the NFL is host to I think it's 80 post-Alabama players in the NFL right now. That's nuts.
You know, we talked about this. Me and Blake are Titans fans. And Julio coming to Nashville is so fucking awesome.
And he returned to practice today, too. I saw a lot of good observations on him getting ready to play. I think the Titans are going to be legit.
Here's the thing. It gets harder and harder nowadays to remember all of our players that get drafted and where they go. I mean, I root for damn
If you're looking for a running back, they're probably on the Raiders. I mean, they got Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake, BJ Emmons, and Bo Scarborough. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah. So it's you said AFC South. I'm just saying the NFL period, man. It's insane right now what's going on. So
right, but yeah, it probably just saying it's that Spider-Man trailer, man. They're like absolutely bonkers. Cannot wait for that movie to come out. It's going to be absolutely great.
You ready to end this with our little breakout athletes?
Breakout athletes. I only have one.
Okay.
And it's the easiest one I could pick because I know he's the most important. It's going to be Bryce Young.
Okay.
Bryce has got to come out on all cylinders right out the gate. And if he doesn't, it's going to be tough for Bama to do anything this year. Okay. I love how we went from football to Spider-Man back into our breakout players, but it's all good. Bryce Young's kind of like that Spider-Man figure. Everybody knows who he is, but doesn't know what he can do or what he is going to do. And he has a lot of responsibility with that crimson on his chest. And we're going to really see if he's the hero or he's going to be a zero. And I'm banking on him being a hero and leading us to a national championship this year.
100% agree. I'm going to go defensive side of the ball. I'm not going to go as obvious as Bryce Young. Since you went him, everybody kind of I would think that everybody feels the same way about Bryce Young as we do. I'm going to go Malachi Moore in secondary.
I like Malachi. I don't know if I don't think he had a breakout. He broke out last year as a freshman.
Yeah, I think if he expunges onto that this year, the sky's the limit for that kid. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he can defend zone, man. I think with him, I think he's going to step up in this. I think Will Anderson is the leader on defense right now. Absolutely.
Him and Christian Harris. Sure.
But if Malachi Moore can continue to do what he did last year into this season, I got high hopes for that defense. And like I said before, you know, I'm always curious to see what the offense. We signed the number 1 recruiting class ever in the history of college in high school recruiting ever. We've got receivers galore coming in. We got a couple of quarterbacks to come in. We've got defensive play. I mean, it's insane what we have coming in.
No doubt.
And a lot of younger talent are playing nowadays at Alabama. It didn't used to be like that. You know, Derrick Henry sat. You know, a lot of those guys back in the day sat a little bit before they got to play. Now they're getting a chance at younger ages to play for Nick Saban, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited about this season. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Miami game. We'll talk more next week. Our schedule next week will probably be more lenient towards the Miami game. So,
Right.
but yeah, I'm gonna go Malachi Moore, my breakout player, dude.
I like it. I'm also say Trey Sanders is going to have a breakout year running back. I mean, we didn't get to really see him last year due to injury, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that really takes over that running back room and makes a name for himself with Brian Robinson. I think those two guys are going to be an absolute dominant duo in the SEC this season.
I am anxious to see B-Rob be the leader this year, be the number one back.
He reminds me a lot of Damian Harris.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Have a mixture of him and Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good people.
Brother.
Hey,
dude.
Before we let y'all go back. Hold on. Well, I know what you're about to say, but go ahead and go to our page. Go to that GoFundMe. Give to UA Hockey, please. We got literally a week until we need to get that 18 grand up. Share. We put the GoFundMe on our page. Share it, like it, retweet it, send it to your friends, donate. Every dollar helps. We forgot to tell y'all to stop what you're doing earlier in the beginning of the show and go back to Apple or wherever you're watching and follow or subscribe, and then unsubscribe, then subscribe, and then unsubscribe, share, leave us a review, leave us 5 stars. Let us know how ugly Adam is. Let us know how terrible I sound tonight, and we'll just keep rocking and rolling and get better with it. But again, we appreciate all of you for everything y'all have done, subscribing, listening. It's been fun.
It has been fun, and I want to say one more thing. I want to do a giveaway soon. I want to do a giveaway. I want to get our subscribers up on YouTube. I want to get that up a little bit, get our followers up on Twitter, and then we'll do a giveaway of some sort. And I'll even go out like this. Blake, just because I love you, I will pay for the giveaway myself.
Let's do this. Let's give away some tickets.
Okay. To the Mercer game? To the Mercer game?
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Mercer game, but
hey, let's do it.
Let's do this. We've got about 20 subscribers on YouTube. What do you want to do?
Let us know. I mean, we need y'all's help.
Yeah.
So
just start coming in, guys. We'll figure out something. Look on our Twitter page. We'll post something. Me and Blake will get together and think about what we're gonna do.
People always love Bama tickets.
People love Bama tickets. I don't care if it's basketball, baseball, football.
Just a little heads up. Just a little heads up. If you want to go to Bama games, you should probably start thinking about getting a vaccination or getting a test 3 days before. Just a heads up. Wink, wink.
All right, brother. We'll be back. What is it? Next Tuesday, I guess.
Next Tuesday, back to weekly shows. Dear God, I got to see your face once a week.
You love it, and I love it. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Roll Tide, brother.
Roll Tide.